Welcome, Norse fans, to Norsin Around, part of the Grueling Truth Radio Network. Hopefully you're going to be joining us down in Louisville for the NIT first round. Of course, me and Alex. And I'm going to play some sound from today's press conference to give context to the rest of the show.
So how do you feel that this postseason play is going to benefit the team going into the future, the experience?
I mean, anytime you can say the practice, George is a junior, and George is a young team, so anytime you can stay in practice and get a chance to play in the postseason environment, George can do that. Just speak to what you said before. My goal goes to this team, but he's got a position, special group to play along with him. That's our goal. And to me, it's just postseasons, first 2 years of eligibility. So this is happy to get up here. It's like 10 up to 25. Still got the top 5. It's like the cards to get back in St. Mary's. Then 8-10, which is multiple years. Get to those times. It's like 10 schools out of 225. So the back-to-back postseasons. So if you get to the NIT or a combination of those two. Because it's your time.
So, Alex, any thoughts on some of the things that popped up?
Well, I heard the, bringing in some more recruits in and how that's contributed to the basketball team. Obviously, Brandon has done a really good job coming in ever since he came here. He's been here as long as I've been a student here, actually. And I've just been amazed with how this program has taken off so quickly. And now you're seeing it last year winning the Horizon League title, being in the NCAA tournament, and, of course, this year came close. We're in the NIT, won the Horizon League regular season title. And, I can see NKU making a big run in the NIT, to be honest.
So, like you said, they're playing Louisville first. So if they do beat Louisville, who would be looking at them in the next round?
All right. So looking at this bracket here, we would play the winner of the 3-6 game that involves Middle Tennessee State and Vermont. Middle Tennessee State is at 24-7. Vermont is at 27-7.
I was going to say, the reason why I find it especially interesting is, of course, I was a big Western fan for a long time because we don't have football, so I had to pick somebody from the state to cheer for their football team. Mm-hmm. And, of course, them and Middle Tennessee State have a long rivalry against each other. And then the other one you mentioned, Vermont. It was, I want to say the last year or the year before that we weren't eligible for the postseason play. There was a fella at my alma mater, Dixie High School, and he was trying to decide where to play his college ball at. He was a pretty solid player. We were all hoping, he was going to pick NKU. But unfortunately, with NKU not being eligible for the postseason at that time, he went to Vermont. So that's kind of, one of those. They're always trying to find connections during the tournament stories.
Right.
So if they do beat the winner out of that game, who would they have next?
Well, of the four teams they could play, you have a pretty solid lineup here. You got 18-14 Baylor. They're the 1 seed. They're going to play Wagner, the 23-9 seed, and then the winner of that game will play either Mississippi State or Nebraska, and we'll end up playing one of those guys.
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say, obviously the odds-on favorite is Baylor, with them being a number 1 seed and all. But, and you can't sleep on the Big Ten with Nebraska or Mississippi State out of the SEC. So if they got past that, what would be the next, or the 8 teams that would be possible for them to, because it would be the lower bracket, I guess?
Yes. So at this point, we would be able to be in the Final Four in New York City. In the other bracket that we could play in against is the 1 seed Notre Dame. They'll play Hampton. Penn State will play Temple. That's the 4-5 game. 3-6 game is Oregon and Rider. And then Marquette versus Harvard.
Some interesting ones. I was going to say Harvard ended up stealing a win this year over USC. Let's see, who else? Notre Dame. A lot of people were thinking they were going to be in the tournament. Hampton's been in the tournament many times. What was the other ones? Because unfortunately mine is too fuzzy to read. So after Hampton.
So there's Marquette.
Marquette, yeah, actually there were rumors that our first round matchup was going to be against Marquette at one point. Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, yeah, because that's what Coach was thinking originally. He's like, they're probably going to play Marquette. And, I didn't have to worry about a conflict of interest trying to decide between the playing game and between NKU's game, because he's like, they'll probably go on the road against them. So,
because when I looked at the tournament selection show and saw Louisville didn't get in, I quickly said, okay, NKU is going to end up playing Louisville then. That's what my mind thought. And, I called it.
I was right. I got to give you credit. Because I remember a couple shows ago, I was thinking that NK or UK was some reason why I wasn't going to make the tournament, because that before their run in the SEC tournament, they had not been doing well. And despite that, people were telling me, they were still getting in no matter what. But I'm like, they're not doing that great this year. Wouldn't that be funny if they had that rematch from last year in the NIT? And, of course, you were right. I mean, they ended up playing another major powerhouse from the state of Kentucky in the NIT with Louisville. So, it looks like it's going to be an interesting bracket there. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be more focused on the NCAA bracket, but the NIT, like you said, there's a lot of really good teams. USC, how I mentioned, had lost a game to Harvard, and LSU. Let's see what other neat ones are in there. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good teams, and obviously over the past years, TCU won it last year against George Washington and Valpo, who used to be in our conference. Valpo was the runner-up in 2016.
I think Dayton won it a few years back. I want to say, I think
2010. Yeah, Dayton was 2010.
That's what I
Wichita
thought.
State was 2011. So this is a nice springboard to start getting the proper credit for the NCAA tournament, because that was one of the things that I discussed the other day with a bracketologist, and they were saying that, even though it's not supposed to be based on your track record in past years, a lot of times they do base things on that, which is, to me, crazy, but,
yeah,
how they do it. Ohio State, wow, that's weird, huh? South Carolina, back-to-back years. West Virginia in 2017. It's just weird to see West Virginia in there. Michigan won it, but they had to vacate it 1 year. Illinois, that's way back there. It's 94. So, yeah, focus on the last couple of years. TCU, George Washington, Stanford, Minnesota, Baylor, Stanford, Wichita State, and Dayton. So going all the way back to 2010. So that it can mean a lot if you win it. Obviously, no one's really paying too much attention to second or third round, but if you get at least to New York, you'll start to get some major credit points.
Yeah, and you look at. I think I read up before the show started. Notre Dame seemed like a big favorite. Obviously, USC would probably be a favorite. Another Kentucky school is in it. Western Kentucky's in the tournament. You mentioned them earlier. Florida Gulf Coast, Boise State. But I think NKU could make it to the Final Four.
That would be great. Yeah, because I was just looking at one of the other tournaments, the CBI, where Miami of Ohio, they ended up getting it to that one. Because, Oakland had been offered a spot. And like you mentioned about, you didn't do that on the air. You did that before we went on there. Mentioned about how Louisville actually had voted down going to the NIT. Oakland
Correct.
had voted down going to the CBI, so they didn't go. But like you were saying, Louisville's AD, because they're an intern, said, no, we're going to play this game no matter what. So
yeah, the players voted down, but yeah, so how the players come out tomorrow is going to be interesting. Are they, going to give it all they got, or are they just going to blow it off?
Yeah, because that's what we're hoping is, the talent level should be close anyway, but the fact is if NKU comes out with more of a hard intensity, unfortunately with the press conference today, Drew had a very odd demeanor to him, both him and coach. They just both came off. I was a little concerned, but then again, when you find that information about Louisville out, it gives a more positive spin to it. So there's a lot going on there right now with within a 48-hour period, going from, oh no, we blew it, getting into the tournament like we should have, losing to Cleveland State, to this. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and excuse me. Obviously, the shenanigans with the FBI investigations early in the season with Pitino getting released as coach, David Paget coming in, Blood 20-13, NKU at 22-9. I see this game being a very close one. I think you're in for a very interesting and a very good basketball game. And I can see Louisville, the way the players reacted, it looks like they may not come out with that kind of energy. But if NKU, and I could say this over and over again, NKU could come out, get that fiery hot start, they can win this.
Exactly, and that's what they need to do. And let's see, of course, the important things for the fans. This game's at 7 o'clock tomorrow down in Louisville at the Yum Center?
Yep, on ESPN as well.
So if you can't make it down to the game, you can, of course, see the game. And then from there, ticket prices, I saw a lot of the tickets are going for $12 for non-students.
$6 for students.
$6 for students. That's pretty impressive.
That's a good deal.
That is. I mean, to go see a postseason game, that's a heck of a deal. So that's what we like to hear, that students are getting that opportunity to get that full, rich college experience.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, with the game itself, I mean, NKU won. We all know about when they won in the Horizon League. We all know about the 17 in the nation in field goal percentage because they are, I mean, along with Carson and Drew, the whole team has just got a really excellent field goal percentage from two. So that's going to be a big factor in the game. And just trying to cut down on those turnovers. And if they can do those things, that can be huge for Northern.
Definitely.
For scouting Louisville finished 8th, in the ACC, which a lot of people still thought that would have got them in the tournament. I'm like, we won our regular season. I know our, conferences are the same, but still, they're an 8th. The Cardinals, just like you said, it's been a rough year for them with all the craziness that happened prior to the season. Yeah. So it'll be definitely something we're looking forward to seeing the fans come out and be supportive. That's all you can ask, and there should be plenty of opportunity to get those tickets down at the Center. Any final thoughts, Alex?
Well, it's been a great season, and I'm sure it's going to continue on after tomorrow night's game. I'm very confident about the Norse, as you mentioned before. Not having those turnovers, and as I said, the fire-out start. I think they can certainly beat Louisville, and go Norse. Excellent.
So for the Norsin Around, part of the Grueling Truth Radio Network, I echo Alex's sentiments, saying go Norse. And then for the fans on ESPN, the game will be televised, 7 o'clock. The fans that can make it, $12 seats, or if you can find a student ID somewhere, $6 seats. So we wish you the best.